The guy passed a knife around and stabbing me. I was trying to get away as they were stabbing me, and they were holding me down and stuff. And they smothered me with a bag. That one I had a bag wrapped around my neck and everything. They choked me. They made me eat dog poop, rat poop, and human. They made me drink their urine. And each time they braided some switches together and they beat me across the back. They tore my clothes off me and everything. And then they took me up to, like, they said that was the place they're going to cut my throat and throw me in, and I was never come back to see my family again. They were just telling me that they were going to kill me. And, you know, they made me take a bath in a trash can. They wouldn't let me use the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom outside. I had to sleep outside. And they told me if they even remotely heard me once, that they were about to kill me. They poured candle wax in my hair. They pulled my hair out when they were cutting it with scissors, and, you know, it was just scary. They had me tied up. I couldn't go anywhere. Like, the time when they left, they were going to go get some beer and stuff, and when they came back, they said they were going to finish me off. And before they even got back, I had already got loose. I found a knife and cut myself loose. I had the police coming up to the driveway. When I seen the police, I just, you know, I knew it was, you know, my chance to get out. You know, if I didn't, I was going to die anyway. And then that's when they see me coming out there, and they thought, they said I was going to lose my leg when they see my sides. And I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was thinking that my mom wasn't wanting to come home. Every time I close my eyes, all I see is that knife when they kept stabbing me and stabbing me. It's just, you know, it's a nightmare.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makah Kadash. Double honors to the elders, GMS, who were well. Peace and salutations to the elect. On the four corners, pushing his truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This was a while back. This isn't nothing that, you know, new. I remember when this story was first breaking. You know, this is a good example of a few things. It's a good example, you know, of the curses, you know, that come upon Israel, you know. And another thing is example of how much Esau hates us. So while, you know, some of these women think that they, you know, can, okay, we're going to leave and we're going to all go get white men. Well, these are white men, you know, and they sometimes refer to instances of black men, you know, committing crimes, you know, committing rape, committing murder, as if black men are the only people that's doing this. But really they're trying to use that to justify their decision because deep down they love white men. And this is one of the things that shows, you know, hey, you don't think Esau get down and do that, you know? And this is some down south redneck hillbilly, you know, one tooth, you know, and fucking floss with a fucking tug of war rope, you know, type trash. These are the absolute, you know, scum of the earth, of, you know, of course not your, that aren't your, you know, your elite. You know, these are, you know, and the Most High said, you know, that he was going to do this in his prophecies. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger. So if you are hungry, you have to go to your enemy. Reading on, it says, and in thirst and in nakedness. So if you thirsty, you got to go, You got to drink his bitter water, his flint water, all the lead poison he's putting in it. And it says also, and in nakedness, you want clothing, you got to go to your enemy for all these things, your basic essentials, your necessities. It says, and in want of all things. So everything that you have to go to, you want money, you want a bank, you want a loan, business, you got to go to your enemy for all that. Reading on, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now this woman says she was chained up. She says she actually found a knife. She was able to cut herself loose. But this woman literally was chained up. Verse 49, and Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from afar. This is referring to the prophecy when was actually taken over on cargo slave ships from west coast of Africa to the Americas over here in the New World. Verse 49 says, and the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Now the symbol of America is an eagle. This was a symbol of Edomites back in ancient Rome, even to this day. Reading on, it says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 49, it says, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of old, nor show favor to the young. Now, this is perfectly describes, the so-called white man. It doesn't give a fuck how old you are, how young you are. If you young, and if you fatherless, they put you in a fucking child custody, your foster care system. When they run you through there, you go home to home. They sometimes put you in the custody of people that are fucking child molesters, and they don't give a fuck. This is just about putting you wherever the hell they want to put you. Verse 51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thine kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And that's one of the ways how you will get riches. Your natural resources. How you doing? All right. Your natural resources, in the gathering of all these, foods and fruits of everything like that. You could be simply rich off of having a lot of, grapes, a lot of fruit, and almost like you got a monopoly on, the fruits of the land, and everybody has to go, and basically go, maybe you got the best fruit or the best, or have, you can afford to, sell it at, a very, very cheap discount because you grow so much in abundance. And those are, one of the ways that you can get riches. And according to, the scriptures, it says that we're not going to have that. We're not going to be blessed in those things. This is verse 54, says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall have. Verse 55, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. So this goes to show how, prestigious the women of our nation were, where they didn't even have to step foot on the ground because we was in order. We didn't have to go through half the shit that we going through right now. This is part of, breaking the curses. Slaki, you're not breaking the curses, but not following, the covenant that the Most High gave. And so because of that, we have to endure all of this hell and all these curses that's written in Deuteronomy. This is verse Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 9 This is Jeremiah 9 and 11. And I will make Jerusalem heaps and a den of dragons, and I will make the cities of Judah desolate without an inhabitant. Who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of Yahweh has spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth and is burned up like a wilderness that none passeth through. And Yahweh saith, because they have forsaken my law, as I was saying, they've forsaken the law of the Most High Heavenly Father. They're not following. Well, I included myself, I was part of this. It says, they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Balaam, which their fathers taught them. It says, walking after your own heart is off your feeling, just like in the days of the judges. Everybody did what they wanted to do. Everybody was just, not following the law, statutes, commandments. And that's the beauty about this, is the law, statutes, commandments, it was given to us, and everybody, because we have it, everybody got a sense of, of unity, of what to and what not to do. This is Judges chapter 21 and verse 25. And in those days, there was no king in Israel. Now, we have a king right now with Yahweh Shai, but he's not physically present, walking amongst us in flesh right now, and, giving orders in a fleshly body where we actually can see, feel, or touch. Verse 25, in those days, there was no king in Israel. Every man did which was right in his own eyes. And that's one of the things that, Jeremiah was sitting on. Everybody walking after their own, following their own heart. And on that note, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makakadash. It's double honors to the elders of GMS who were well. Peace and salutations and shalom.